before we get into the main event, we've got this really great match between the Intercontinental Champion Chris Benoit and Chris Jericho, and Chris Benoit's putting his title on the line in a basically kind of rematch from WrestleMania 2000. It was triple threat. Basically, it's like where both Benoit won the Intercontinental title, and obviously Chris Jericho won the European title, but then got screwed by China. They didn't really resolve for maybe a week, and they didn't care. It's kind of maybe it's the point, but yeah. So then we focused on, I think Benoit refocused his thoughts. He's having a good run with a couple of wins on TV. But yeah, it looks like probably as a favour from Jericho, from Triple H. I think, obviously, with the kind of terrible kind of things that Chris Jericho was saying to Stephanie McMahon. So I guess as Benoit and Stu kind of loosely related with the Radicals, kind of probably try and take him out. And obviously, former champion, he's probably got a title rematch. But again, this is just an excuse to put these two together. I mean, this is around about the time they're properly building up Benoit as the kind of Benoit that we know and did love before, obviously, we know what he did. But yeah, it's kind of a situation as his work. Yeah, it's one of these things. I think this was around about the time they try and big it up, and it was awesome. So, and then obviously Jericho was finding his feet, and they really did provenant. Obviously, the old thing where he was originally in the WrestleMania 2000 poster, but then he wasn't, and then kind of having this is around about the time I think he's always said he's kind of working up, like workhorse, working his way up, people respecting him. He's only been in the company for a couple of months at this point, so he's still working his way up the card. Obviously, we know how it all ended in 2001. So it's just like he done the work, and this was kind of thing. How this is the kind of match that made people start to realize how good Chris Jericho really is, because you kind of proved it in WCW, but this feud and this kind of this one a couple of months is where you started being, oh my god, Chris Jericho is awesome. This match did help with that. Obviously, it started off with promos. You had obviously interviewed Chris Benoit, interviewed Marco, just talking trash about Jericho, saying he was like, it'd be his pleasure beating the living crap out of him, and then Jericho being Jericho. Nothing crazy promo wise, kind of just saying how Benoit wasn't mad at him for calling Mr. Roboto. It's I think it's more than that in a feud, but it wouldn't be the worst thing. It wouldn't be the worst thing I've seen to get a feud out of him. Start a feud, but yeah, now obviously Jericho another pop at politicians, because when the capital politicians are like that too, that kind of stuff. It's basically wrestling in the capital. That's for reference how looking at politicians back then, I guess, and the trust wasn't there. But yeah, but this is the kind of match that I said is what the IC title is all about. Two of the kind of a stopgap to the main title, or the world title, and kind of two of the workhorses are kind of great workers going against each other, proving why they're great. This is what the Intercontinental Championship was meant to be and what it is, and I haven't seen, and I kind of missed it isn't anymore. I wish it was, but it's just not what it used to be. But yeah, we obviously started off with some cool kind of as a Japanese kind of style back and forth hits, where Jericho Jericho going to back sloop it to the top. Obviously, I've already watched their kind of match at Royal Rumble 2001 with their ladder match with the bit with chucking a chair in his face while he's going through the ropes, but I didn't know what that was kind of alluding to. But then obviously watching this match, it all started from this match, so that was cool. We also got Benoit diving through the floor, and obviously Jericho just moved that way. So basically Benoit, it's kind of awkward because obviously he landed on his head, and we all know what happened. It's kind of awkward, but he basically jumped through the ropes and landed on nothing. So it's that must have hurt. Again, we had a cool bit with obviously Benoit hit a drop kick into the steps with the steps going into the ribs of Jericho. I kind of like that. It's kind of showed the brutality of Benoit. Again, it's kind of a situation of, because obviously Chris Benoit likes pain. It's basically working on the ribs. We had obviously the superplex on the top rope. Obviously, there's the wheelie work on those ribs. Jericho, same thing with when Benoit went to the top. He kind of went. Yeah, when Benoit went to top, he kind of missed out the way because Jericho went for a springboard dropkick. Benoit basically countered it, basically. Again, I don't see it as much these days, but Chris Jericho does really cool, double powerbomb. The double powerbomb thing used to be his finisher before the Wars Jericho for the two. Then obviously the cripple. This kind of part of the match where it got really cool because counters, kickouts, near falls. They done it well. They just basically, it was a slow kind of technical match, but then it got really high flying and brutal. Obviously triple crossface by Benoit, but then Jericho was able to get on his feet. As the crowd were totally into this match at this point. There's like a slow build. It's like they were totally into that. Wrestling fans just love great workers and great people putting everything on the line. And it's to prove this is the feud that kind of catapulted them both up the card. It's beautiful. But yeah, again, obviously both hit the finishers. It was Jericho putting the walls Jericho, but Benoit was able to get it easy. The crowd were again really hot for this, put these near full submission finishes. They were totally into it. Yeah, then we have to Jericho go for went for a forearm. Benoit ducks, and kind of again the ref got knocked out. It's kind of they did do this spot too much in the Attitude Era. But yeah, so the referee, as you know, is like made of paper. So when he's knocked out, he's out for years, or in this case, many minutes. But yeah, obviously then it all stale for the title. Kind of Jericho obviously used it, I think, at Royal Rumble when it's kind of used the title to try and get the cheap win. But Benoit going to grab the title, and he nailed kind of Jericho in the head. Benoit tried to wake up the ref. He kind of covered, but then obviously he was about to cover, and Jericho got up, just got up for the 2. Benoit went for the suplex on the title, but it didn't work, and obviously went to the top. He was going to hit his headbutt. I think the ref was kind of too dazed at this point. Jericho basically grabbed the belt, and he was going to he went for the headbutt. It's a great picture if you really see it. It's like he went for the headbutt, and then Jericho basically he put the title in a position where basically Benoit landed straight on the title. The referee saw it, so it ended in disqualification, and Benoit won the match. Obviously normally you'd be a bit annoyed, like DQ, not DQ, but in this case it worked because obviously Jericho basically lost it at the end. Tim White of all people, and basically hit walls of Jericho. Again, it kind of like stared up the kind of Jericho might turn heel at this point. It was around about this time he turned heel. But yeah, I can understand the frustration, but on the flip side, he did basically, he used the title, the ref saw it, Benoit got the lucky win. But normally a DQ thing would be a finish, but it was entertaining enough, and it was actually quite clever. He got away with it at Royal Rumble, so he can't get away with it again. But they're doing this like kind of feud, Jericho. I like the unique way of using the title as a way to end the match. It was the right call, but Jericho was just really frustrated because, he got caught and he was frustrated, but it kind of ended in a really good technical match. Again, the fans are loving this match. Good counters, great kind of spots. Both wrestlers showing how great they are. We're talking about we all look at Benoit, maybe the character Benoit, not the man. But when it comes to his in-ring ability, this was around about time he was proving how great he was and how good he was in the ring, and Jericho was doing the same. So when you got two hungry kind of upstarts trying to prove how good they are, and give them, how long did they give them? Like 15 minutes, the same thing, 15 minutes to do what they do, and basically prove how, just the spot just before the main event, and just basically went for it, and they freaking knocked it out of the park, man. It's a great match. I suggest you watch it. Just watch this whole feud between Benoit and Jericho. I think for my Jericho best match series, I did watch their Royal Rumble ladder match at 2001. That's could be one of the greatest ladder matches of all time, and it's so good. It's kind of, I don't want to say it's forgotten, but it's amazing. So yeah, definitely check both of those matches out, because definitely check this one out as well if you can. But yeah, it was great. I gave it a 3 out of 5, but then I think watching it back and talking about it now, I'm going to give it a 4. It's brilliant. It's the kind of sport that the Intercontinental Championship should be, and I 100% believe it's the place that it should be, and it's proven it was worth it. 15 minutes of just these two guys going for it. Great counters, great stuff. Awesome match. Definitely check it out. So.